Hey everybody, I want to start this particular video off with this subject, Meta and Alexander Wang. And then so for the uninitiated, Alexander Wang was the head of AI for Meta. And then Meta recently went through a reorganization in which they downgraded Alexander Wang. And then so Alexander Wang, he had a massive success, right? He started Scale AI and then essentially grew from there. And then Scale AI is very specifically based on data, like data cleansing, things like that, like the core infrastructure of how AI works. But then I think like this quote from Jan LeCun to me is most telling, right? AI Godfather says Meta's new 29-year-old AI boss is inexperienced and warns of staff exodus. And like when it comes to these things overall, there's a group of people, right? Jan LeCun, lots of different like experts within Ilya, like I could name like different names, right? They all scream the same thing, like the head of like the CEO of Microsoft, uh, all saying around these things that there's a kind of a problem within AI of all of these major companies and these major significant bets not actually understanding the underlying technology and the people that they're hiring and throwing massive amounts of money behind. They're throwing money behind like the model to me is you come up with a great innovation, one singular innovation, and then that's gonna like that puts you on the map and above everyone else, and then you cash out on that, like the Mobot guy, right? And then a lot of people like they've asked me like a lot, like why have I never taken that particular approach, right? Like why haven't I taken like the Alexander Wang approach or the Mobot guy approach, like just cashing out on one singular thing? And to me, it's I think that entire bet is wrong. Like, and I've thought that way from the beginning. Like the bet on the black box of AI and all in on data and like feeding data centers, scaling AI is the only way to go. All of those things, like I make the opposite bet, and I've made the opposite bet for years now. Is essentially how this is playing out and shaping out. And it's to me, it's an interesting dynamic because what you're starting to notice within the industry is a lot of panic around these things because there's a lot of everyone is coming to the conclusion that everyone went all in on the same bet, and then perhaps that is wrong, right? Because it leads to kind of like short-sightedness, not seeing like different perspectives and differing ways to do things and solve problems, which is exactly what we do at MMV Firm, right? And how exactly our differentiator is like that as an AGI infrastructure company, right? Looking at these problems differently overall and coming up to different solutions that Alexander Wang wouldn't come up with, for example, just calling it exactly what it is, right? And then so within that and within this, what I'm going to showcase to you, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this article. I'll leave a link to the article. You can read through it. But what I want to showcase to you is a model that is learning without stochastic gradient descent, essentially an alternative to SGD that we've been developing, experimenting around, etc. And then so we've gotten our experiments to the point where this particular framework performs extremely well, specifically on medical data, right? And then so the overall approach, and then I want to, before I dive into any of this very specifically, I want to mention and point out that the architect of this overall is Ash Kelly and not myself. And then so again, going back to those multitudes of perspectives, right? I do think that's important. Like a lot of people call me out for like on this channel, it's always just me, my opinions, etc. Right? It's me talking well because it's my channel, but that's not how I live my everyday life, right? Like my everyday life is like I talk to other experts and other people all the time, like almost every hour that I'm awake, etc. And just this is my channel, but so like so that's kind of how that is overall. But then so within this and the architecture that we're looking at, that like big thing that I want to point you to in from this article is the results. And then so these are the results from an experiment that I'm not going to showcase to you. The experiment from these results are utilizing a couple of A100s and a far more advanced setup than what I'm showcasing here for you. What I want to showcase for you in this particular demo and in this collab notebook is proof of concept of this, right? The fact that essentially we can go from data set to weight synthesis, completely sidestepping stochastic gradient descent within that process. I'll talk about that, and then how exactly that works overall. But the point is that the end model is not utilizing or reliant on stochastic gradient descent in any way, the end model. And then so within that, once we do that, the results are quite frankly astonishing. So without a single step of traditional trial and error training at exactly step 0, the system generated neural networks that achieved 85 to 92% accuracy on breast cancer classification, 92% accuracy on wine classification, and 87% accuracy on handwritten digits. These are not the accuracy numbers that you're going to see within here, and at all. And the accuracy numbers on here are going to be performatively worse than other benchmarks that we have access to within that. If you don't like that and you have significant money that you would be willing to invest, particularly within this, if you reach out to my business partners, they would be more than willing to talk to you about that, showcase to you any sort of demos that we have around this to prove out these numbers here, right? Again, this demo is just to showcase this proof of concept to you overall, just like that you should be thinking a little bit differently around these things, right? And then so this notebook very specifically is a runnable collab demo of the idea around our larger experiment, which is that you can take few shot labeled data sets, create a task encoder from that, get the weight coordinates of those very specifically, and then utilize those weights to create what we'll call full classifier weights that can then be utilized to spin up models on the fly. This particular experiment is intentionally small and practical. It's using a small shared MLP, small synthetic teacher bank. It's utilizing a PCA weight dictionary, which is a large part of the problems within this, the accuracy problems I'll showcase to you later on, etc. Our full and later experiments don't utilize this PCA weight dictionary reduction. Very specifically, I don't want to showcase the code around that as to how we're getting around that solution, and then also too, it requires more compute than will be available within this collab demo. Then we set the encoder that reads a support set. And then the generated step 0 model, we showcase the generated step 0 model versus random versus trained baselines. And then in this particular test, utilizing these particular this particular setup here. Again, just showcasing that the whole point of this is just to showcase that this works, that it's actually doing something on some level within this, right? And then I'll talk about that and run through that further as we go through. So what you're going to look at and what this notebook demonstrates overall is that instead of training a fresh model from scratch for each new task, we 1, build a bank of solved synthetic tasks, 2, compress their weights into a low-dimensional space, a 16-dimensional space in this instance, 3, train an encoder to map a small labeled data set into that weight space, 4, reconstruct a model directly from the data set. And then so this is a proof of concept and nowhere near a production system that we're looking at here. So as we go through, these are just the basic setups. You can reduce and change settings there if you'd like. This is just the number of parameters. You can so parameter dimensions. You can see again, these are the full result of this is a very, very, very tiny model. And that's kind of the first thing that I want to demonstrate and showcase. And then so this is essentially step 1 of the experiment, and then I can go through the experiment from here. I think that's as an overview, right? So step 1 is that we're taking a data set and then we're training utilizing traditional methods, right? So utilizing traditional stochastic gradient descent, etc. as the baseline. We're training these models to map these concepts into their latent space to understand, to get their to create the teachers is basically what step 1 is within this, right? And then so in this particular instance, we're teaching it shapes, and then so what is so how does the teacher represent the line data set in its latent space? How does the teacher model represent the moon's data set within its latent space? Circles, etc. And then so that's essentially what we're doing within that, and then getting these particular teachers together. Like, so each individual teacher becomes like an individual book, and then each individual teacher is very small, like very tiny, and then they're only trained on one aspect of this data, like of the data set overall, right? So one teacher only knows line. One teacher only knows moons. One teacher only knows circles. One teacher only knows squares, etc. Right? And then from there, we create a teacher bank. So each one of these teachers is like an individual book. The teacher bank is like a library. We are organizing them all into a library. So each synthetic task gets a normally trained teacher network. Those solved teachers define where good solutions live in the weight space. And then so this is essentially the accuracy scores overall of our library, if you will. And then so for line, it's 99, moons 99, circles 98, and sparse 8, 92. And then from there, so we create the library, right? Like we have the library, and then we need to translate these books. Like, we need to build like the weight library, like the from the library, we need to take those weights that we need, and then we need to create a singular weight dictionary, one singular book that the model is going to utilize to essentially train itself, right? So like the kind of like the the bottleneck within, and this goes, if you read through the article, you'll dive deeper into this, right? But the kind of the bottleneck within current AI is learning to learn, speed of learning, and everything associated with that, right? Like and all of those bottlenecks come and are associated with stochastic gradient descent. Stochastic gradient descent is in no way how a human learns overall, and then that's neither good nor bad, like in isolation, but compared to how a human learns, there's a problem within AI, which is that like I need to give an AI model like a data set thousands of times, as opposed to having a human like read a book like once or twice, and it can understand it and retain massive amounts of information from the book. And then so that's essentially what we're trying to do within this experiment, right? Is like, so can we essentially like train the model on the book a couple of times, and then get its accuracy very high on a very small subset of the book, put a bunch of these books then together, get the weights of those books for each one of those individual problem sets, and then utilizing just the weight codes essentially from those problem sets, like utilizing them as a dictionary, can we then like inject those weight codes into a completely untrained model, and will it do something? That's kind of the test overall within this, right? And then so from there we build the dictionary, and then we build the data set essentially. So like in this instance, again, we're like utilizing PCA reduction, and then we're creating a 16-dimensional latent space. And then so the 16-dimensional latent space is the same within our higher experiments, but we definitively do not use PCA reduction in the like bigger experiments. And then we want to set our encoder, and then create the encoder within this. And then so within the encoder here, what you'll see, like if I'm positive that someone is going to go through this code, not watch the video, and then as an immediate reaction say like herp to derp, there's like stochastic gradient descent in here. Yes, there is stochastic gradient descent within this. Again, like the decoder, encoder, like the original teacher models, like and everything associated with the teacher models is utilizing stochastic gradient descent, and then there's also stochastic gradient descent as far as like a baseline, right? But then again, we're taking those results, just the weights, like the weights from those teachers, and then injecting just the weights from the teacher into the student. So there's no stochastic gradient descent process within that, right? And then so once we have our teachers trained, then we want to create the inference helper, which is essentially like what we're going through the what we want the model to do, right? And then so we go through, and then we have it perform a task, and then here's the result. And then this is the result that matters to me within this particular notebook here. Where to go? Right here. So here's random generated and trained, right? And then so what you can see here is that like on this particular test, again, like this is the minimum viable product. This is a complete MVP of this, just showcasing to you that it works. That essentially compared to random, once we do this weight injection, we can get like a 20% increase in performance over random. And then of course like trained is going to be much better than this, and then so training a model, but then so this compared to this takes like 1 second, this takes a couple of minutes or whatever it is to train on this particular data set overall. So there's a difference, like significant difference in computational performance between these things. And then like also too, we're giving you the very basic stripped down example of this. And then so as an example of that, utilizing this one here, here's the like breast cancer research, and then what you can see is that the generated is actually like performing worse than the random in this instance because of the PCA reduction that we're utilizing within this. And then again, we're able to get it up to 92% accuracy like on the other tests that we use. So it would score like literally like here, right? Like up to here, and our like our tests that are larger than this, so we can 100% demonstrate to anyone that is willing to invest in this technology. And then from there, and then from here, essentially this is like the on that same like benchmark test, essentially showcasing that like in this particular instance, random is beating out the accuracy of the generated initialization there. I'm showcasing and leaving all of this for you here. I want to like there's nothing to hide within this, right? This is a like again a like the whole point of this is to give you an MVP, and this graph is the one that matters. And I'm telling you very specifically upfront within this that like the biggest problem within this is the PCA reduction and utilization of PCA reduction for this. If you take that out, strip that out, you will instantaneously get much better benchmark performances here, etc. across the board, right here, and then fix that overall, and you can do that. But so like the point of this is to teach you and to learn these things, and then so if you go through those steps, prove me wrong, right? like I'm telling you, like 100%, you take those steps. That's what's needed in order to fix this. And if you take those steps, you can demonstrate it for yourself. If you want me to demonstrate it for you, I'd be more than happy to. This technology is for sale. Reach out to my business partners overall, and they would be more than happy to discuss this technology more in depth with you overall. And then so if you're interested in these types of things, alternatives to AI overall, that's what I'm all about and what this channel is all about. And if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much.